good, y'all? What's good, y'all? So, yeah,
What's
man,
going on, brother?
Crosswalk, episode 9. Man, it's crazy. We done this many of them. It like flew
Yeah, I
by.
know, right? If
Yeah,
if it still feels like we just got getting started, really.
I know, but it looks a lot better than it did the first time. I think
Absolutely.
it's getting better. But yeah, man. Anybody that's on here for the first time, I'm Jax. That's Cross. Making the walk MMA, Crosswalk MMA. And together we made the crosswalk. So we talk about a variety of things, but we got some interesting stuff to dig in today. So we're gonna dig into some NBA stuff, but of course we're gonna talk about UFC stuff 100%. But looking at the chat, we got Dr. Evil up in here, we got Westy in here, we got Toron, Leroy, of course. What's up to all y'all? Appreciate y'all jumping in early. But yeah, man, how are you doing on this victory lap that we got going on after we picked that dude that's behind you right now?
Man, I'm feeling pretty good. Like I was catching a lot of heat in the group chat from the guys, especially on the
Yeah.
prediction show, especially the Rambling Dad and McDan. Them guys was doing all that talking. But I ended up getting the last laugh, and I kind of needed it after he's having just holding some over my head the last couple weeks. So it's been good to be on the right side.
Bruh, Ola is on a nice little streak, like the past, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. Like he just been ridiculous with his picks. But according to Jourdain, this precedes the fall off, so the fall off is gonna come. But dude, when he is on top, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
it is rough.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough.
Yep.
Even when he was like, down towards the bottom of the table, where I'm living right now, or where I was, he was 1 point ahead of me, and he
Uh-huh.
reminded me every day that
Yep.
he was 1 point ahead.
Yep. Yep. That's him.
Yeah,
He ain't gonna let you forget it at
at
all.
all, at all.
Mhm.
But shout out to the Fight Week show and Jourdain and Yao, Osterberries, um, everybody that is part of that crew. But yeah, man, that event, UFC 317, like as a whole, what do you think about the event as a whole?
Man, I thoroughly enjoyed the event, man. Like from Joshua Van, Brandon Royval, probably gonna end up being the fight of the year. That fight was crazy, by the way. Then we get back-to-back finishes in the co-main and the main event. I mean, hey, I got nothing bad to say about the card. I thoroughly enjoyed the card. I just wish we had a few more fights. That's pretty much all I could add to it.
Yeah, man, that was card of the year for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of times I don't remember some of the like I'll remember the individual fights, but I won't remember the entirety of the card. But
Mm-hmm.
but this one was pretty memorable. Just because of Ilia speaking into existence what he was going to do, and then Joshua Van just showing up, man. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
nuts what he did in that fight. And then Brandon Royval just he didn't have to take that fight, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
the fact that he right before that he fought well, was it right before that? I don't know if it was right before that, but he fought Tatsura Taira,
Yep.
which that was another, letting somebody get the opportunity to come up. He beat him, and then he fights somebody who's 11 spots below him and gives him an opportunity and puts on a ridiculous show. Um, and he only went down 2 spots, which was
Mm-hmm.
great for him.
That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's
Yeah,
supposed to be. When you give somebody an opportunity and y'all have a phenomenal fight and it could go either way, I don't think the guy that risked it all should be penalized very much at all.
yeah, definitely don't think so.
Yeah.
Toron said 317 was way better than 316. 100%,
Yes. Yes.
100%. Then easily. Which kind of leads into this first clip, and we'll continue to talk about 317. But let's dig into this question real quick. See what y'all think about this.
Ilia Topuria just made history at UFC 317, flatlining Charles Oliveira to to become the new lightweight champion. After the fight, he called out Paddy Pimblett, while Arman Tsarukyan stood at cage side, clearly flabbergasted. Arman, who weighed in as the backup fighter, didn't get the call for the in-octagon face-off and could still be in the UFC doghouse. So the question remains, who should get the next title opportunity? Let's dive into the potential matchups and hear what you guys think.
See, Western was already going that direction. So
Yeah, we starting hot with this one. We start
I
real
mean, we
hot.
might as well get
Oh,
right
yeah.
on into it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna let you cook first. What do you think? What should be next for Ilia Topuria?
So I know, Patty, they let him inside of there. But after seeing the clip with DDP, I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, but DDP came out and, like he was just talking. It sounded like Gaethje Patty's kind of maybe already made, and that's going to be the co-main for 319. So in my mind, I'm thinking Patty already has a fight. And then to add on top of it, after the fight, Dana was saying how he didn't like that they got Patty in there. So I think Patty, and I don't think Patty really deserves the title shot yet. So I think they definitely Patty needs one more win. So from there, I think the matchup is Arman Tsarukyan for me.
Yeah, man. So I have long wanted the Patty versus Ilia fight to happen. I think that's an amazing fight for Europe and for the UFC as a whole. Ilia is definitely a star, and Patty, he's trending towards that way. And if he were to get a win over Ilia, oh my God. I mean, it would be freaking UFC Beetle. That's basically what he would be. But I do believe that it is one fight too early. I think Patty needs one more fight. Beating I don't want to say he's washed up, but I mean he's going that direction. Beating that type of Michael Chandler, and probably Michael Chandler's worst UFC performance. To me, that doesn't equate a title shot just yet. Even though Patty looked amazing, he looked really, really good in that fight. I just want to see him do it one more time. And Arman, I feel like he paid his dues by coming in, weighing in, making weight, and doing what he was supposed to do. I know he got paid a little bit for it, but I think they wanted to test him to make sure, okay, are you going to do what you said that you were going to do? Put him up against Ilia, and it's a different kind of test too. Arman is a different kind of fighter as opposed to what Charles Oliveira showed and Volk and Max. He's just different, and I think it would be a different test for Ilia to see if he gets to remain that number one pound for pound guy that he's morphed into. We get to see a little bit more of his wrestling, I would think, if Arman doesn't get knocked out too fast.
Yeah, I mean, I know I see Torn in the chat talking about Gaethje said if he's not going to fight for a belt, he'll retire. Gaethje has no leverage. Like, if Gaethje retires, the UFC is not going to miss a beat. Like, yeah, we as fans are going to hate to see him go, but unfortunately, he has no leverage. Yep. Like nobody's clamoring for that fight. He's only won one fight. I know Arman missed out on his title opportunity, but he was the backup. He made weight. And just like you said, Jax, I think it's one fight too soon for Patty. One fight. I mean, I know one thing. I know Islam is a lot more interested in that fight now after seeing what Ilia did to Oliveira.
Yeah, it's a bigger money fight now, 100%. Western said, give Justin his last chance, and then he fucks off into the pro golf. I understand where Justin is coming from, and I know originally I said, man, just give Justin this fight because once he loses, he's going to leave. But it's kind of like, who do you feel more sorry for? Do you feel sorry for Justin, or do you feel sorry for Arman? And with Justin, I feel sorry for him, but the fact is that he did just a couple of fights ago get KO'd by the dude that's at number 5. So that has to count for something too. Armin hasn't lost to these guys,
Mm-hmm.
so go ahead and let him do his thing. I mean, here's a question though: if Armin fights Ilia and wins, does Ilia get a immediate title shot or immediate rematch?
Nah, I don't think so. Especially if Patty wins. If Patty wins his next fight, he's fighting for a title 100%. Just because he brings way too many eyeballs, is a star in the UK. Like the UFC is not gonna, like they've been bringing Patty along to give him the right opportunities and the right fights to build a star out of him. So if whoever Patty fights next, if he get that win, I think he's gonna get the next title shot. But I mean, I know one thing, lightweight just got a lot more interesting with Ilia getting that win, though. A lot more interesting. And then I'm gonna go at it from another angle. What if Ilia wins and he's like, and if Islam wins and he's like, I want to go fight Islam? Do you let him?
So the purist in me says no, you don't let him. Like he already jumped a division. Now, mind you, he did win. He did beat the top guy. Well, the guy that they put in front of him. Armin was ranked above him, but he beat the guy for lightweight. So he won that fair and square, I suppose. But at welterweight, like, I don't know, that would definitely be some Dana White privilege for him to jump up there one more weight class and jump the line again, and allow him to fight for a belt. Even though I know that's a massive fight, I don't think that that's going to be the right thing to do. What did he say? Are y'all going to moderate each other? Yeah, no, that don't seem right, man. That does not seem right to me for him to jump up there to welterweight and immediately get a title shot. That's wrong.
I mean, I get it, but bro, the fight is gonna be so massive if they both win. So massive.
Yeah.
Or because if Islam wins, I don't think he comes back to 55. And we're just gonna miss out on another phenomenal matchup.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know. Because the fight is really big. Maybe Ilia makes a couple of title defenses and then goes up. Maybe you just shorten the amount of time that it'll take for him to jump up there. Maybe you do that. But like it feels like him immediately getting the belt, dropping the belt, going back up again. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it would be impressive for him to win another fight, but it's also, how much credit do you give him for that? Like, yeah, if he were to go up and fight Islam and beat Islam at welterweight, then he would have 3 belts. But how much credit do you give the effort it takes to go and win within a division? You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, JDM, he won the belt, right? At welterweight, also in 9 fights. And so if he were to go to middleweight, one more fight, they say he can go to middleweight and fight for the belt, and he beats that guy, then he'll be champ.
Yeah.
Do you look at it the same way? I mean, it is a little privilege that comes there. It's not as much work to get to that champ that he would have.
Fair. That's very fair. But I think, we got to put a little context into it. Like the guys that Ilia just beat and how he beat them, like that definitely matters. And Ilia bringing eyeballs to the sport and, like trying to bring in a new market for the UFC, like it's a guys get privileged when you perform on the biggest stage and you have exciting fights. the UFC's, it's a business. Like if you're making them money, they're going to let you do more because you're going to bring the eyeballs. That's just the reality of it. It's a business at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
True. I think I mean, it would be an interesting situation. It is an easier path, in a sense, and star players get star treatment. I do understand that, but then when you start to compare him to, other greats, I always bring this up. Anderson Silva could have been a 2 division champ too, but they wouldn't let him. You got so many other fighters who could have done that, but the era at that time didn't allow it. And Conor McGregor, for whatever he is, the reality show that he's turned into did open the door to be able to do this sort of thing. And Ilia is walking directly through that door and taking Conor's career and doing it even better.
Yep. Have you seen the picture where they have like Conor side by side where he's doing the hammer fist on Aldo versus Ilia doing the hammer fist to Oliveira? Like, it's crazy how spot on those photos look.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
that's true. So like if Ilia were to fight JDM instead, if JDM wins that, do you think that that's an easier fight or a harder fight than fighting Islam?
Man, you and these tough questions, man. Jeez. So I'll say this. I think that's a more entertaining fight because JDM is going to be there in boxing range with Ilia. We're going to see 2 guys in boxing range just letting their hands go, slipping shots. Whereas with Islam, it's much more diverse. It's more kicks. It's staying at range. It's like, I'm not going to stay in the pocket too long. Like, I'll exchange a little bit, but I'm getting right back out of the pocket. And that's the thing with when guys go up against Islam. Like, he's not going to allow you to just get in there and think you're going to exchange with him and then catch him with a shot. After that KO loss he experienced early in his career, he's learned you got to be careful and you got to be defensively responsible. And I think a Ilia Islam fight would look more so like how the Islam Vote 1 fight looked.
Yeah.
And but with JDM, I think it would be a totally different matchup because I think they would kind of meet in the middle, whereas Islam would try and like keep the range a little bit better. But at the same time, though, I think if JDM wins, I don't think Ilia would go up. Like, I think at that point, Islam would come back down to 55.
Yeah, he just might. Man, y'all going off in the chat. Okay, so
yeah, for real.
So Lord of the Pies, he said Shavkat would get chin. He also has terrible boxing. Watch the Jeff Neal fight. Okay. He literally and I wouldn't say that he has terrible boxing. I think that he's not, or he wasn't at the time, defensively responsible. I think that he started to be that when he fought Ian Gary a little bit, and plus the fact that they knew each other and trained together, that had a lot to do with it. I think, and we can do this exercise real quick. Look at the top 5 of welterweight and see, would Ilia win or would he lose? So, okay, number 1, Bilal Muhammad. Would Ilia beat Bilal Muhammad?
I think Ilia beats Bilal.
If Bilal fights the way that he fought JDM, yes, Ilia 100% beats Bilal. I think that if Bilal starts to do some of that wrestling, then it's a different fight. Ilia might still beat him, but I think it's a far different fight. But Bilal, the one that we just saw, I think that Ilia beats him.
Yeah.
Sean Brady.
That's a tough matchup. That's tough. That is tough. Because if for me with that match, man, that's tough because Brady is so strong when he gets on top. But at the same time, like, we haven't seen somebody on top of Ilia. Like Oliveira tried to, and then Ilia just reversed the position like that. So, but then at that point, where's the physical strength? Because I know Brady is strong as an ox, bro. Like I already know that. So I think that would be a tougher matchup. But on the feet, he's still got a puncher's chance, bro. Still 100%. Got a puncher's chance.
If you were betting, are you gonna bet Sean Brady? You gonna bet Ilia? That's a tough one,
bro. If you feet to the fire, I would probably go Sean Brady.
Yep, me too. Yep. Shavkat.
I think Shavkat's a bit too big.
Yeah, I think Shavkat wins that.
Yeah.
Leon Edwards.
It's another tough matchup because, bro, striking, Leon gonna be right there. You know what I mean? Like no real grappling. Well, I'm not gonna say no real grappling threat, but if you ain't just like shooting takedowns on Leon and you just want to play around on the feet, like
yeah, you might never get to him.
Yeah, for real.
Leon is 6'2".
Yeah, I think Leon would get it done too.
All right. I ain't gonna ask about Kamaru, but I will ask about Ian Gary.
See, I think this matchup is better for Ilia than the other fights are.
Interesting. Okay. Why do you say that?
Because JDM's fighting style plays right into Ilia's game, first off, and then the size difference won't be as drastic as it would be for him against Leon Edwards and Shavkat, and there's no real grappling threat.
You talking about JDM?
Yeah.
So what about Ian Gary though?
Oh, my bad. I'm tripping.
I'm gonna tell you now, dude. I'm taking Ian Gary on that one, and that is not because I like Ian Gary.
Yeah,
I do not.
Yeah,
but the way that I saw him deal with a power puncher in Carlos Prates, who has ridiculous power. Like Ian Gary, he would. It's not necessarily saying that he's a smarter or more cerebral fighter than Ilia. I think he's just smart enough to walk out of there with his hand raised. He's not gonna hurt Ilia. He's not gonna beat him up. He'll just do just enough for the judges to say, "I guess you won that round."
I can see that, but my only issue, we've seen Ian Gary eat a shot, bro, and get dropped.
Yeah.
So I totally get it, especially, Ian Gary with the kicks keeping Ilia at range. 100%, like there's a path to victory for him. Gun to my head, I would probably go with Ian Gary, just from the size and the range. Because, I mean, Ilia looked so much smaller than Charles, and facing these guys at 170, man, especially the bigger guys at 170, it's going to look even more exaggerated.
Yep. I mean, it would be a ridiculous problem. Lord of the Pies said Brady's been TKO'd by Bilal. I mean, he did. He did get TKO'd by Bilal. And for me, that always sticks into my mind. Bilal made him quit. But I think that was peak Bilal. And Bilal is a big dude, man. Bilal could easily be a middleweight. Like, to me, he's big. And Ilia doesn't have that type of size on him. And I think Deshaun would lean way more into his wrestling. And basically just big brother him.
Yeah. Because that's the one style we haven't seen Ilia have to deal with. We haven't seen him have to deal with just like that wrestler that just wants to get after you, lean on you, be in the clinch, make it dirty, make it ugly. Because Josh Emmett, I know he's a wrestler, but that wasn't really how that fight played out. Ryan Hall's not really a wrestler. He just wants to leg lock kind of guy. But he just hasn't really had to deal with that yet. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%. Yeah, and going back to the original point, like that's why I think the Arman Tsarukyan fight is the fight to make because it makes him deal with a different style. It makes us see him deal with something different. And that's just going to build his lore even more if he's able to win that particular fight on this particular stage.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lane popping up in here. And of course, Lord of the Pies, you've been cooking in the chat. He said he'd take Ilia versus all of them.
I did see that.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. Size, I think there's weight classes for a reason.
Yeah. Like the size difference, him against like the big welterweights, it's going to be dramatic.
Yeah, that's too much to ask. And I mean, you can have all kinds of technique. If that size is just too much to overcome, none of that's going to matter when they're just laying on you. And that's the thing is like, I know that, you know, we saw Ilia, he went 3 rounds with Yusuf Zalal. He went 5 rounds with Josh Emmett, but those were not all wrestling. And I know that he's a grappler by nature and by trade, but we haven't seen it on this stage against somebody that big. So I don't know. That's the one I want to see. And hopefully that's the one that we get. So Mighty Mouse, do you follow Mighty Mouse? Do you watch his stuff?
So I saw the clip you talking about. I literally saw it probably 45 minutes before we jumped on.
Okay. So yeah, I'm sure all of y'all probably follow Mighty Mouse on YouTube or whatever. He had some interesting things to say about the Joshua Van and Brandon Royval fight, which I thought was amazing. But here's what he had to say.
Former UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson weighed in on what he thought was the fight of the night at UFC 317, and he gave the nod to Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Let's hear what he had to say.
No, that was a beautiful performance from Ilia Topuria. I think that was the fight of the night. The reason why is because I like watching mixed martial arts. I don't really care to watch kickboxing or boxing. I just like when I see a complete game of a full arsenal of fighting, and I love how when he went for the takedown, he was able to reverse him. He passed the guard and he immediately went straight for the crucifix. When he went for the crucifix, Charles Oliveira attacked his legs, went for a heel hook. It was a heel hook sweep. And then he comes up and they're both trying to watch their feet. And then there's just more that happened in that fight than a lot of the fights that happened for me to watch.
Do you agree with Mighty Mouse? Was this the true fight of the night?
So yeah, what do you think about that?
Okay, so I'm gonna look at it 2 different ways. Like when you're an actual fighter at the highest level, you watch fights totally differently than how we watch them. Like we don't get in there, we don't train for, we don't fight for money. Like it's kind of like, you know, like if you do something at a high level and then you watch it, you grade it totally differently. It's kind of like, you know, when you see Tony Romo, Tom Brady watching football, like they're going to see things that the average person isn't going to see. So they appreciate things that we probably wouldn't even notice. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it and where he's coming from. But from the fan entertainment side, obviously everybody loved Van versus Royval.
Yeah. And I understand that logic and I understand where he's coming from. But to me, the fight of the night is almost like where the fighters exhibited the most heart. And while I do see the technical proficiency in the Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira fight, and me and Lala, we were arguing about this the day afterwards. Like to me, it was one-sided.
Yeah.
Like she said, she was like, you know, it wasn't one-sided. Like Charles had some moments. I was like, oh no, I didn't really see them moments. I mean,
Bro, he did land a really nice elbow, and Ilia just ate it. I don't know if you saw that. When you go back and rewatch the fight, bro, Oliveira steps in with an elbow and it lands clean.
yeah, I mean, but it was a lot of one-way traffic.
It was.
Now this fight, it was just a lot of heart that
Yeah.
went into this fight. And when it comes to two people who go in there and they want the same thing and they're putting their heart on the line, like, to me, that results in a really good fight. And that's exactly what this was. Brandon Royval knew that he had to win to protect what he had and to try to go get what he didn't have, which is another title shot in the belt. And Joshua Van, I mean, he's playing with house money. Like, it was very similar to the Sugar Sean O'Malley and Peter Yan situation, where Sean was ranked, I think he was either 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Yan was ranked like number 2. And I remember specifically leading into that fight, everybody was saying, like, if he doesn't go in there and get destroyed, then it's a moral victory for him. It shows that he belongs.
Mm-hmm.
And he fought a really close fight. Whether you thought he won or he lost, it was a really close fight. And in this fight, it was a very similar situation. Except in this case, I think it was very clear that Joshua Van won.
Yep.
But at the same time, Royval did not give it to him. He did not make it easy. He even outlanded him. So this was clearly the fight of the night. I mean, I don't think that there is even a question. Now, if you want to give another performance bonus for technique of the night, sure, I guess you could do that. But this was clearly, hands down, the fight of the night, probably the fight of the year.
Yeah.
And I think that might be recency bias because I don't remember the other fights that were on this level. But to me, this was fight of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's comfortably in the number 1 spot for now. For now.
Yeah. I think the stage that was on also matters. Like, when these people have crazy fights, but they're on the prelims of a fight night card in the Apex, people forget.
Mm-hmm.
People forget so fast.
Absolutely.
And those fighters typically have even more to fight for because they're fighting just to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before I leave UFC 317, like, what other stuff stood out to you? What's another moment or thing that stood out? I got one, but I'm curious if you're going to say the same one.
So I'm going to go with Peyton Talbot riding the ship, showing he's been in the gym. He's gotten better. He's worked on his game. And the fight with him and Lima was a really good fight. It's just, it happened to be right before Royval Van. And Peyton Talbot, man, I like to see it, when the young guys go in there and you can see that they've put the work in. They're getting better. They're improving. Like, that's what you want to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I was very impressed and pleasantly surprised by the progress that he had in the grappling. I didn't think leading up into it that he could make enough improvements to beat Lima, but I was definitely wrong. And I'm glad that I was. But I will say that Frank Ocean was wrong for what he posted.
I saw that too. I saw that too.
Because you know what I'm saying? Like, Peyton trying to be serious, and this dude posted stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't right, man. But Peyton, I mean, he's got a bright future ahead of him too. And he called out Adrian Yanez. That's tough.
Yeah.
That is tough.
That's gonna be a lot of fun on the feet if they make that fight.
Oh my goodness. How do you think that fight goes?
I think with the way Yanez's fights have been going lately, man, he's been taking a lot of damage. And I don't know if that would be the right matchup for Yanez. I think Yanez needs to, like, go back a few steps, get his confidence back. Because I mean, he's in there with high level guys and just taking so much punishment. And you know, I don't want to get in that position of where like we miss out on a guy that could have developed into something because we was just throwing him in there against just good guy after good guy after good guy, and he couldn't get any type of momentum.
Yeah, that's true. So Yanez lost a split decision against Daniel Marcos, which I actually thought he won that fight. He beat Vinicius Salvador by KO. Lost before that to Jonathan Martinez and Rob Font, both by TKOs.
Yeah, both those were bad.
Yeah, it's bad. I think Martinez tore his
Yep. Leg kicks.
Yeah, he tore his ACL in that one. Yeah, and I really like Adrian Yanez. But
me too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. That almost cancels out a one of the prospects. Which I don't like canceling out prospects early, but at the same time, Adrian is 31. He's the same age as Malcolm Wellmaker.
Well, all right. That puts it into perspective then.
Yeah.
Might have to do it then.
Yeah, maybe. Another moment that stood out to me was Gregory Rodriguez RoboCop knocking out Jack Hermanson.
Oh, that was a dead body. Dead body, bro. Like the follow-up shot, I saw it in slow-mo. Oh yeah. My goodness, bro. Brutal.
Hey, do you think that RoboCop knew that was unnecessary? God, that dude,
he knew, bro. 100%.
There's no way he didn't know that wasn't necessary.
Absolutely, but I mean, you know, when you're in the moment, man, that adrenaline going, and all you know is just, hey, like I gotta make sure, because if he wakes up and I don't stop him, you know. But it was brutal though. It was brutal because Hermanson was out for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. And you could see him when he did come to, he's sitting there looking around like, how did I even get here? I was like, oh man, that was awful. And I thought that Rodriguez was going to win, but I didn't think it was going to be like that.
Yeah. I almost took Hermanson as a live dog, so I'm glad I didn't.
And he was, you know, especially you saw him go against a power puncher before that in Joe Pyfer.
Yeah.
And did well.
Mm-hmm.
But shoot. Gregory Rodriguez, like, he's got a lot of grappling that he doesn't get to show. I think he was a world champion in jiu-jitsu, and he doesn't ever get to it. It never happens.
It's just all striking usually, or ground and pound.
Yeah. That dude is scary, man.
Yeah.
I hope he gets another crack at getting into the rankings, because fighting somebody like Jared Cannonier when Jared apparently still got it, like that's a tough matchup. It's a really tough matchup.
Real quick, look at middleweight. Hermanson wasn't ranked anymore?
Nope, he wasn't.
You know what? I think he probably can slide up once the Costa Kopylov fights happens, because they're both 13 and 14. So the loser's probably gonna drop out.
Yeah, I think he definitely deserves to be ranked. 100%. Ooh, Toron. RoboCop against Joe Pyfer? That's just mean. That's just mean. I mean, I'll pay to see that. I'll pay to see it.
I think both guys should get a chance to fight somebody that's ranked. Like the loser of Vittori Brendan Allen, because they're both 10 and 11. One of them can fight them, and the other one can fight like the loser of Kopylov Costa.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I like that. I think RoboCop would beat Abus Magomedov, who just got ranked or just went down. But yeah, I definitely think that both of them should be fighting someone that is ranked. They definitely deserve that.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think what else happened on 317. Let's see. Tracy Cortez beat Viviane Araújo. I wasn't super impressed by that. I don't think.
Pantoja Van can talk about that.
That's a good one. Well, Pantoja did what he was supposed to do. Why do you think Kai France lost that fight?
Bruh, just the grappling, man. You just could tell, like, you knew if Pantoja got him down or got hold to him, got on his back, man, you already knew, how that fight was gonna go. And I think Kai France, having been in there with him before, knew that as well, and it made him a little hesitant on the feet. And then on top of it, to give Pantoja credit, he went right after him. Like, he didn't play around. He went right after Kai and was like, gave him no respect at all, and was like, no, I'm not playing around with you. I'm not gonna let you get any confidence, any momentum, and I'm gonna get you out of here.
Yeah. Kai France, he was super emotional leading up to the fight. And I think he felt the weight of all of those emotions, and he wasn't able to fight as loose as he did in previous fights. Like, he was very timid. He wasn't throwing. I don't know. It felt like he kind of froze in the moment. That's what it feels like.
CCB, I see you.
Yeah, Western. I expected better from Kai France. Another one that I was surprised with was Terrence McKinney and Slava Claus.
You were surprised with the sub, or were you surprised with it just ended so early?
I was surprised that it ended as fast as it did. I wasn't surprised that there was a finish, one way or the other, just because of the nature of Terrence McKinney. But it definitely seems like within the first minute of a fight, Terrence McKinney is one of the greatest fighters we've ever seen.
Yeah. Like, for me, man, like, I was expecting a finish in the first round by somebody. Just Terrence McKinney, like, is kill or be killed in the first round. Like, whoever he's in there with, either you gonna get him or he's gonna get you. And like, that sub was crazy. Like, just watching Slava Claus, like, he just literally looked like a fish, like, on land, just flapping around with his legs, man. And it was a great submission.
It really was. I mean, it was exactly like Volkanovski versus Ortega. I mean, except for Volkanovski got out of it. It was the exact same situation and the exact same last-ditch effort, emergency in the glass type of defense that Volkanovski used that actually won or actually got him out of it. But, yeah, that one was wild. Big Ankh brought up the Jose Delgado, Hyder Emil.
Man, bro, that knee came out of nowhere, didn't it?
It did, man. I didn't think he had that kind of thing in him. I mean, I saw what he did previously, but I thought, okay, Hyder Emil is going to put a little bit more pressure on him. He's not going to be able to do those sorts of things. But he just came out the gates with it, and man, I guess he had something to do because that was so fast,
bro. That was like, I was just completely caught off guard with that knee.
Yeah, that was insane.
What'd you think of Dariush Moicano? Like, going in, did you go with Moicano going in?
No, I went with Dariush.
Okay, yeah, he was my dog of the week. Like, I had that in my back pocket all week. I'm like, I think it's gonna be one-way traffic for Dariush. I literally thought that all week.
I thought that Dariush was going to win because Moicano isn't exactly a power puncher.
Bingo.
And I was like, he's a better striker than some people give him credit for, but I think a lot of that has to do with the threat of his grappling. And Dariush, you don't necessarily have that.
Exactly.
You will be able to negate that, and so now you got to strike with him.
Yep.
And when it started off, I like what Dariush was doing with his kicks, but then it felt like he got tired, and then you start to see him move towards the fence. And for any fighter, as soon as you start to get towards that fence, you are losing some escape routes. And then he got clipped, and I was like, oh my God, you got clipped by him?
Yeah.
So after round one, I was very scared. I'm sure since that was your dog of the week, that you were feeling the same way.
Bro, I was super nervous. And then round 2 came and I was like, oh, he's controlling Moicano now. So I was like, yeah, I feel a lot better now. I literally thought that Moicano, for me, I was kind of like you. I wasn't really worried about his power. And then when he dropped him, I was like, oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
But after seeing Dariush defend all the takedowns from Gamrot, I didn't think Moicano would be able to get him to the ground at any point in the fight. Like I wasn't worried about that at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dariush did what he needed to do to get the win.
True, he did. So Big Onk brought up something. He said Dariush still got it. I don't think he still got it, bro. I don't think so. I think the peak Dariush was the one that fought Gamrot.
Yeah, that was the best one. That was the best version of him right there.
If I were him, I would have. It's easy for me to say because I ain't the one fighting, but I feel like he should have just ended it on a high right there. Because if we looking at the lightweight rankings, he ain't beat nobody above him.
Yeah,
nobody.
Yeah, Arman took a piece of Dariush that will never be back inside the octagon again, bro. And I was there, dog. Like that was a brutal first round KO when Arman knocked him out.
Yeah. It would be bad. I don't think that if Gamrot fights Dariush again, I don't think that Dariush wins. I think Dan Hooker destroys him.
Yep.
Dustin Poirier's leaving, so it don't matter. I think Max beats him. Charles just beat him. Arman just beat him. Mm-hmm. Of course, Islam ain't even really there. Like, dude, it's a wrap. Yep. I think he should end on a high note and just dip on out of here. But he said that he's reinvigorated now, so we're gonna have to see him take another beating. I mean, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I don't see any way around it. I really don't. It sucks. Benny versus Close was wild. Yes, it was.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah. It was also like 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And just like Kobe Covington's burner said, like his chin is just it's not there anymore. And Moicano was just the perfect matchup for him.
Yep.
Oh, Fazeev would KO Beneil. Yes, he would.
Badly.
Yes, he would.
It would be bad.
Yes.
Man. Whenever he gets booked, it's going to be kind of similar how I felt when Charles got booked with Ilia. I was like, man, this is going to be sad. This is going to be sad. We're going to watch somebody that we really like walk in there to an execution. And it almost doesn't matter who he faces off against. I just don't think that he's on that level no more.
Yeah.
Let's
see. Man, I don't even know who Beneil would fight, honestly, because everybody in front of him, I don't think he wants anybody in front of him.
Nope. And to think after, was it in a couple of weeks after Dustin fights, then everybody's going to shift up.
Yep.
So
yeah, I don't like any of those matchups around him for him.
No, none of them. The only fight that I like is him fighting Moicano again. That's it. Benny versus Chandler. I thought about that, but dude, Chandler would knock him silly. Chandler destroys lesser fighters. Like,
how is Chandler still ranked? First off,
I don't know. But he's Michael Chandler.
Bro, he got some pictures on. He got pictures on somebody or something.
I don't know how they do so rank. I really don't. Dariush versus Dawson. That would be interesting. But why would he have to fight that far? He's not going to fight that far back.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, he just got to win. He ain't going to be trying to fight back.
No. I mean, in rightful arrogance, you beat somebody that's in the top, 15. You don't want to fight somebody at the back end of the top 15. Yeah, nah, man. It's a wrap for that dude. Um,
Sterling, man, you don't like the background today, Sterling? Why you don't like it, dog? You know, you got to witness another double champion.
yeah, we
I
did.
wish you had that picture that I put in the group chat of
Which one?
of all them where they reacted.
Oh,
Yeah, that would have been perfect. You know
yeah,
what?
I got it in here somewhere or another. I had to find it.
I might can put it. Might can make that as my background now that I think about it. I might need to do that for a second.
Oh man, they were so sad.
Mm-hmm.
And they booted you so fast. I was in
So
the chat.
so quick. They booted me out of there. So
But the
quick.
thing is, it's like it was a natural reaction. Like there wasn't anything you could do about that.
Yeah, and it's not like I said what happened. I literally was like, "Oh my god!" You know,
And everybody was like,
let's see here.
"Oh my goodness." Let's see here. We can hop into this last clip real quick. Just about the NBA. Let's see. While you post that pic, while you add that picture in. Let's see.
The NBA offseason has been packed with drama. From the NBA draft to the start of free agency just yesterday evening, teams are making big moves, and with that comes winners and losers. Let's talk about the biggest winner and biggest loser so far, who's setting themselves up for success, and who might be taking a step backward.
All right, so I don't know how much you've seen as far as the NBA. So anybody that's in the chat, if y'all don't know, the free agency started yesterday, and it's been nuts. The draft was the week before, and of course, you know.
Look at these reactions right here. When Charles Oliveira got knocked out, look at Sterling right here. Look at Ola McDane. Everybody just hurt, and it was beautiful.
Oh man, yeah, that was glorious. That was glorious. That was a rough night for Leroy. That was a rough night for him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, who voices them little clips? Well, that is not me. So it's somebody that I know. But anyway, so the NBA offseason kicked off, and I'm always excited about the offseason because it's so much unknown. And you saw in the clip that the Dallas Mavericks, of course, got the #1 overall pick, got Cooper Flag.
Mm-hmm.
We also got D'Angelo Russell to hold down the fort while Kyrie heals up. But that's not the #1 or any of the #1 winners so far of the offseason, I wouldn't think. But before I it's Sterling. Before I jump into who I think the biggest winners are, like who stood out to you? I know you get the alerts and everything, but who stood out to you as far as like just people that you've seen or teams that you've seen that are coming up?
Well, KD going to Houston is a big one. Whenever you get like, you know, somebody of that caliber moving, like you definitely notice it. OKC locking up Shea Gilchrist to a super max.
Mm-hmm.
You love to see it. Like they gotta lock that little young nucleus up, man, for a long time and just run with it. And hopefully, you know, all those guys can stay healthy. Damian Lillard getting waived, that's a big one. You know, him trying to come back from the Achilles, that's gonna be kind of tough. Miles Turner, I think he went to just signed with the Bucks now, I think, right?
Yep, sure did.
So you know, like some things gonna look a little different in the NBA next year. And I know you're definitely happy about, you know, the Mavs getting Cooper Flag, of course.
Yeah, can't complain about that.
Yeah, I was definitely messing with you a little bit. Like, what if they don't draft him? What if they don't draft him?
I know you was making me think. I was like, what if they don't draft him? But luckily they did. They ain't traded nobody stupid again yet. well, but the games haven't been played, so you never know. It's still time. But
Mhm.
so the biggest winners that I had were Atlanta Hawks. So the Atlanta Hawks got Nikhil Alexander Walker, Kristaps.
And yeah, I was about to say, and they got Porzingis, yeah.
Yep, and they got Porzingis.
Mhm.
And of course, they already had Dyson Daniels. Of course, they got Trey, Jalen Johnson. Like they are already becoming a problem in the East, and we
Mhm.
already know that the East is. I mean, they didn't fell apart since the playoffs. Like the whole 3 Achilles destroyed the entirety of the East.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
when you think about it, they're gonna be able to make a little run next year, bro. Like
mhm.
for real, because Halliburton's gonna be gone. Tatum's out.
Yep,
Who's gonna be the team in the East? Literally, it's gonna be up for grabs.
totally
The
up for
Knicks
grabs.
and the Knicks.
Yep. Yep.
I
The
mean,
Knicks, I mean the Knicks are gonna be good,
yeah,
but they don't have a coach. So I know Mike Brown is interviewing with them now. So it could be him, but the Knicks did get better. They got Gershon Yabusele and they got Jordan Clarkson. So they're gonna be even better, even deeper. Um, but the Atlanta Hawks, they're gonna be a top 4 team in the East.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's a big difference from last year. We thought that Trey Young was going to end up going to the Lakers.
yeah.
Now he's on a team that can contend and actually win the East. But and you also brought up the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets, like obviously they got KD. That's a big, big win. But that's not the only person that they got. They renewed Steven Adams, and Jeff Green, Aaron Holiday, and Fred VanVleet. But they added Clint Capella,
Ooh,
which stopped the Lakers from getting him. And they also stole Dorian Finney-Smith away from the Lakers as well. So, which a lot of people don't know, Dorian Finney-Smith, Luka Doncic's best friend.
mm-hmm.
So, the Houston Rockets are, to me, second best team. They had the second best record last year. They're the second best team, if not pushing for the best team in the West.
Yeah. You got to see how it all comes together.
Yeah.
But hey, with their coach though, I definitely believe it will come together.
Yeah, Ime Udoka is amazing. Also already has a relationship with Kevin Durant. Dude, they're gonna be so good. And I hate to say it, I don't like supporting Houston doing anything, but they're gonna be a problem, man.
Yeah.
They're gonna be a big problem. I might have to sneak down there. I ain't wearing no Houston gear, I tell you that. I'm gonna wear all black, but I might have to sneak down there and watch a game. A few of them. Because I think that they're gonna make some noise for sure.
Yeah, I think the Spurs gonna be fun too. All the Texas teams gonna be fun. Honestly.
Hold up, let me pause for this. Let me see, who is this? They said, I think you're saying, what's your take on the guy Ashu Jubilee? Is he done or can he make a comeback? Nah, man. I don't think that he's on the level of the UFC.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like I mean, it's a good story. You know, it's the first guy out of India, but I don't think he's ready for that level because I think in one of the fights, man, the dude was like yelling at him and then knocked him out.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what's the girl's name?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't think of her name though. She lost to the girl from Ireland, right?
Yeah,
Like
Shanna Bannon.
she landed the head kick, dropped her, and then got subbed.
Pooja Tomar.
Yep, that's it.
She's the best fighter in India. She's the best.
Yeah.
And I think that she'll stay. I think she'll stay.
That she's competitive. She's competitive.
Yeah. But Jubilee, no, not him. So yeah, let's no, man. I'm not big up in them at all. It's not gonna happen. But
Grimy, what's up? Good to see you in here, brother.
truth be told,
Lazy, good to see you in here as always, Lazy.
of course. Truth be told, Houston did some big things. So you hinted on a few of these, but dig into some of these biggest losers. Definitely, and I don't even have this on here because I made these graphics before this happened, but dude, the Indiana Pacers, man, I'm so sorry, Lane.
Yo.
They are falling apart. They lost Miles Turner, their longest tenured player, to the Bucks. So you lose a player, and he goes to one of your rivals.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Halliburton's going to be gone the majority of the year. Like, I think they're a playing team now. That's unfortunate. That's terrible. They've been downgraded to a playing team. Boston.
That's who I was gonna say.
Yeah, Boston fell apart. But I mean, they didn't fall apart.
I mean, bro, they lost Tatum gonna be out for the year. Porzingis is gone, and they lost Holiday as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think for them, it was a strategic fall apart, but they fell apart though. But it saves them a lot of money though.
Yeah.
If they didn't trade Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, they would have had to pay $300 million more. So
and that makes total sense with the team just being sold recently. So yeah, that makes total sense.
Yep, 100%. And of course the Bucks, even though they got Miles Turner, I don't think that was necessarily a needle mover. They really just replaced Brook Lopez, who went to the Clippers. So I don't think they got really too much better. But the teams that I said in my little graphic here were the LA Lakers, and I love to say that the Lakers got worse, but simply because of the situation that happened last year. I don't really want to see them do well right now.
Have they even signed anybody? Because I don't think they've even signed anybody.
They signed one person, and I can't remember his name right now, but it wasn't anything of significance.
Exactly.
They still don't have a center, and they still haven't signed Luka to his extension. And LeBron opted in, but then his agent, Rich Paul, sent some weird cryptic message about him enjoying his 8 years with the organization, and he's gonna do what's best for him, type of thing. I'm like, dude, what are y'all doing over there? What are y'all doing? Y'all about to lose everybody.
Yeah.
But the Boston Celtics, I did put them as the biggest loser, even though they saved a lot of money. They're going to be trash next year. Relatively trash.
Yeah.
They still got Jaylen Brown. They still got Derek White. But after that,
yeah. What's going on, Murphy MMA? Grimy in here talking about his Pistons as always, saying they're trading for Monk. Okay, and they lost Hardaway, Schroeder, and Beasley.
Yeah. Hardaway went to the Nuggets. Schroeder went to Sacramento, the Kings. Beasley, they didn't lose Beasley. Beasley is being
in the big three, just going off in the big three.
No, not that big Beasley. He's talking about Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley
that's right.
Being investigated by the FBI.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Yeah. So they didn't lose him. They can re-sign him, but I don't think they want to.
Yeah, he probably won't be getting re-signed.
No. Not right now. You ain't. You don't want to touch that dude. Yeah, I'm sorry, Lane.
And then Torrance says, did you guys see Patty kicking Dubronx while he's down, talking about it was an embarrassing performance by Dubronx? Did you see that?
I did.
I saw it too. That's not a good look, man. Like, hey, that guy strapped it up, got in there, and he, Ilia was the better man on the night. You know what I mean? Like hindsight's always 2020. You can say, well, he should have did this, he should have did that. But when you in there and you putting it on the line, hey, you can't be saying it's embarrassing, man. Like the guy, you just went in there with another elite fighter. You know?
Yeah. It that did kind of suck for him to do that. I mean, I understood where he's coming from as far as like him saying, you know, he understands the game plan, but like time and place, man. I don't think that was the time or the place to be doing that, especially with somebody who's beloved like that, like is. But you know, who knows? Maybe Patty will get a shot, but he's gonna have to get through somebody first.
Yeah.
I know Western saying that he thinks that I think he said Gaethje should get a shot. If Gaethje beats Patty, yeah, I'll give him a shot. I guess that would be okay. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Gaethje's ever going to even make it back there. I think he might retire first.
After that performance, Ilia could fight again this year.
He said that he wants to fight in December.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad look. It's just a matter of who it's going to be against. And if he wants to fight in December, that to me that almost that makes it in stone that it's going to be a lightweight.
Yeah.
There's no way that he's going to go, not because of him, but because of who he would be fighting. I don't think that they would turn around and do that. I don't think. JDM might, but not Islam. Yeah.
Westy saying there's no way Gaethje fighting Patty.
Why you say that? Why?
Is it after the whole like he said he wants to fight for a belt, or he's just gonna retire after those comments?
I understand him throwing that out there, but like you said, he has no leverage, and I think he knows he has no leverage. That was just
no leverage.
He's trying. I don't blame him for trying. But I mean, if he's promised, like to me, what I've seen from Gaethje, he will operate on promises. If you promise him, hey, if you beat this dude, you'll get a title shot, he'll fight. He'll do the fight. If you don't make a promise to him, that's when he'll be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
All you got to do is and he'll do it. 100%. But yeah, this has been an interesting episode, man. But next week we don't even have fights. So what do you do? What do you do on the weekends that we don't have fights?
So this coming weekend, man, I'm gonna be having some family time. Gonna be chopping it up with them, seeing some relatives I don't see too often. But hopefully maybe there's some fights going on somewhere else around the world I can watch or something like that. And just go from there. What about you?
Probably go somewhere. Probably go to the movies. Leave the house mainly. That's the main thing is leave. But you know what? That actually brings up something I was going to ask you. As far as like other organizations, I know you go to some of the like Fury FC fights, but like what organizations outside of the UFC do you like to watch?
So LFA, Cage Warriors, Fury FC are probably like the top three I watch. I love One Championship. Friday fights are phenomenal. I love Friday fights, One Championship. PFL, I think there's some PFL coming on kind of soon. I watch PFL. It doesn't really do it for me like watching that Muay Thai One Championship with the MMA gloves. That is pure violence.
Yeah.
Occasionally, like, I'll be on YouTube and watch like some Brave, Glory. I'll catch here and there every once in a while. And I got the little Brazilian Combate channel, so like I'll see like their little fight promotions down there in Brazil. And Octagon from time to time I'll check out Karate Combat. PFL Africa on Friday. Okay. But I'll definitely check that out. And Lane, I'm right there with you for Dana White Contender Series.
Yeah, August 12th, I believe it starts.
Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna be doing watch alongs for those 100%.
Yeah. I think my favorite one to watch outside of the UFC is probably Octagon. I really like how they present their stuff. It's like super professional. What's weird is like, I mean, I guess it's not weird, but I see a lot of fighters in Octagon who they never leave. Like this is where they want to be and they never leave. So they must be getting it right over there for sure.
Yeah.
But also one, I mean, like you said, it's pure violence. You don't got to know nothing about nobody. And they just come in there and they throw down. Like I don't like when they have the MMA inside of the ring.
Yeah, because they get caught up in the ropes
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
with you on that. I'm with you on that. Like, how do they determine if they're gonna fight in the ring or the I don't think this is an octagon. It's like a circle, right?
Yeah, I think it's a circle. Yeah. I don't know, but if I was a fighter over there, if I was an MMA fighter, I would not want to fight in the ring.
Yeah.
Like you give me an octagon, especially if you're a striker, like it's going to be really hard to keep yourself up. You can't use the cage to wall walk and all that. Like I wouldn't want that, but the Muay Thai there,
love it.
Yes, 100%.
And them little Thai dudes be throwing them kicks so fast, dude.
Yes,
so fast.
Yes, for sure. And then I don't particularly like when they do BJJ in the ring. I think they should just not do the ring. Just don't do the ring.
Yeah.
Just eliminate the ring.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. 100%.
Yeah. But when it comes to Contender Series, I just saw I think it was, I can't remember who it was, but they put out the entire schedule of Dana White's Contender Series.
Okay.
So that one's going to be dope. I'm looking forward to that.
100%. I think Tough is on tonight too, and I'm gonna be doing a little watch along for Tough tonight. So everybody in the chat, if you checking out Tough, you on YouTube, make sure you pull up for that watch along. We can chop it up. And I mean, hey, Tough has been delivering this year, bro. Like the fights have been phenomenal.
Yeah. 100%. They've been really, really good. Pleasantly surprised, because sometimes you'll get a Tough season that is boring and the fights are boring, and definitely makes you want to turn off the TV.
Yeah.
I don't know who's that guy. Is he fighting today? Nah, it's heavyweight.
Nah, yeah. If he's a heavyweight, he's not on Tough.
He's on the Contender Series.
Okay. Yeah, low-key Contender Series is my second favorite thing with the UFC. Like it's pay-per-views, Dana White Contender Series, then fight nights for me.
Yeah, for sure. Contender Series is because it's like the Ultimate Fighter, except they just eliminate all the story.
Yep.
Just
I ain't got to see none of that. Let's just get in there and get after it.
And you get multiple fights in one night.
Exactly. And I don't know if you saw, but I think somebody quoted Dana and saying with wherever they're going far as the TV deal, they're going to expand Contender Series.
Yeah,
I love that idea. I love that.
I did see that. Yeah, I'm curious how that's going to play with wherever they go or however they do it. Shout out to No Chill, man. No Chill's if y'all don't follow No Chill, you make sure you do. He's got a dope channel too. But anywho, I guess we'll dip on out of here. Next week we may or may not be on a little bit earlier, but we'll push that out there and let y'all know. And hopefully we have somebody special on. Hopefully. Maybe not. I ain't gonna say, so I don't want to get your hopes up. Anyway. And then also make sure y'all check out our channels, man. We got a lot of good content out there. I did the video about the bantamweight division. Go check that out. And then also Me and Max Griffin had to push our interview back until tomorrow, so I'll be interviewing him tomorrow and putting that out there as well. So anyway, do you have anything coming out this week? Or are you pushing all your stuff till next week?
So video wise, I'll probably just gonna be pushing stuff back to next week, but I know I got the stream for Tough tonight.
Yeah.
And I might even do like some watch alongs later in the week. Potentially, we just gotta see how it all plays out because I'm currently out of town right now. So we'll see. And if I do some, I'll definitely let everybody know on all the platforms.
For sure. All right, y'all. So until next time, we will holler at y'all.
Peace.
Thanks for watching Crosswalk. Make sure to come back next Tuesday to chop it up.
So please, whatever.